Hi everybody, I'm Prashanth Kumar. Welcome to my YouTube channel Social Critic. Now friends, we are discussing about the political developments of 20th century. And here we already discussed about the First World War and the dictators and also Second World War. Today let us discuss about the revolutions, especially Russian Revolution and Chinese Revolution. That one we have to discuss. So here we have discussed today in this video. Let us discuss about Russian Revolution, Chinese Revolution, Cold War, and emergence of USA as a strong country. This much we will discuss today. Friends, Russia. So previously it was known as USSR or Soviet Union, the biggest country in the world, the largest country in the world. And in the 19th century, this Russia was ruled by Tsars. TSAR or CZAR, Tsars were the rulers. And the rule of Tsars was called nationalistic jail. Actually, they exploited, they gave torture to the landlords. In turn, these landlords exploited the laborers and the small farmers. And totally, the people fed up by the rule of Tsar. And the people, they wanted to revolt against the Tsar. And the workers, farmers, they decided to revolt against the ruler and they started their boycotts. They boycotted. The farmers and the workers took arms and fought against the rulers, but they were suppressed. With the army, they suppressed. And so another person came. In the same times, what happened? The biggest country in the world, Soviet Union, was defeated by a small country, Japan, in 1905. So it's an insult for the country. The people, they thought that this ruler is useless. So at the time of this rule, actually Nicholas II, Tsar Nicholas II was the ruler. That's at his time, this defeat they faced. They felt that, so this ruler is very weak. With a small country, we have to face a defeat. So the farmers and workers fought against the rulers and Tsar's army suppressed them cruelly. At that time, one person came forward to support these workers and farmers. His name is Vladimir Ilyich Lenin. He guided the farmers and workers. Yeah. And at that time, the ruler, he declared him as a traitor. Nicholas II declared him as a traitor and he was sent away from the country. And then the farmers and the workers, they continued their struggle and they fought against the ruler, and finally the Tsar Nicholas II ran away from the country. And which incident took place in the month of February 1917. So this revolution is called as the February Revolution. Yeah. And after this February Revolution, the power was shared by moderates. The power was shared by moderates called Mensheviks. So they started to rule the country. They declared Russia as a republic. Mensheviks, they are moderates, they declared Russia as a republic. This is a February Revolution. And next what happened? After this, so anyway ruler not there who sent Lenin out of the country, he came back. And after this revolution, Lenin came back, returned to Russia and called for peace, food and land. He gave a slogan. If you support us, for the people he told, if you support us, we will provide peace, food and land. And by listening to this, the workers and farmers across Russia supported him. And the Bolsheviks, the party of the workers, created and they revolted. And that is in the month of October 1917. It is called as October Revolution. So the beginning one, Mensheviks, they made February Revolution. Bolsheviks, October Revolution. Yeah. Lenin joined the revolution and declared Russia as a socialist republic union. In the after October Revolution, they got victory and he declared Russia as Socialistic Republic Union. And he became the president of the government. Lenin became the president of the government. So after becoming president, what he did? So Lenin as the president, he declared that the land belonged to the farmers. Already he gave one slogan we discussed here: peace, food and land. So in that one, he declared that the land belonged to the farmers, not landlords. Tiller became the owner of the land reforms, and implemented political and economic policies that ensured free health, schooling and residence to all the Russians. Free health, free schooling and free residence to all the Russians. And he was the first to implement Karl Marx scientific communism in practice. Karl Marx, who wrote Das Kapital, his scientific communism was introduced in Russia for the first time by Lenin. And he died in 1924. After his death, Joseph Stalin became the ruler. He became the president there, not ruler, president actually. And he built USSR as a formidable opponent to USA. And actually, here what happened, USA is a strong power and opponent to that USSR, it is common. And he wanted to develop USSR as opponent, formidable opponent to USA, so he developed that one. And for that development, for the first time, he implemented 5-year plans. So whatever India adopted this one 5-year plan, it is from Russia, first time introduced by Stalin. And he, at the time of Stalin, launched the first satellite. And Yuri Gagarin became the first astronaut of the world. And actually, first astronaut of India, Rakesh Sharma, also went to space with the help of Russia. And established Communist Republic. He established Communist Republic. And here, especially independence movement in Asia and Africa and in South America were supported by this Stalin, by Russia. And Stalin committed many mistakes while doing this one. It's common. And trying to make USSR as a powerful country, formidable, competent to USA, at that time he made many mistakes. And in the form of actually in the process of establishing Communist Republic, it was not totally successful. And in 1985 onwards, so the rule behind the Iron Curtain that came out. And when Michael Gorbachev became the president there, and he was a pro-democratic, already pro-democratic movement started there. And he implemented Glasnost and the Perestroika. Glasnost is the meaning liberal. Liberal movement started, liberalization started. Perestroika means reorganizing. By that, slowly the democracy entered there, and in 1992 completely this communism collapsed in Russia. Actually USSR, Soviet Union, that became Russia. Some countries there got independence and the remaining part became Russia. Still it is a biggest or largest country. And communism collapsed, and afterwards with that Cold War also ended actually. So this is about the revolution of Russia or Russian Revolution. Next we have to discuss about Chinese Revolution. And in China, like Tsars in Russia, here Manchu dynasty was ruling, and afterwards what happened, they opposed this Manchu dynasty, and so this China was also the colony of Europe, which was under the control of France actually, and some parts under Japan. But actually full China was not under the control of Europeans. Like India, it was not like that. India completely occupied by England. But China not like that. One part was occupied by them. And there, in China, they didn't have that much industries. Yeah. And in this situation, under the leadership of Kuomintang party, its leader, Sun Yat-sen. So Sun Yat-sen, he anti-imperialistic democratic revolution took place. So there he started revolution against imperialistic democratic democracy. Actually, imperialistic democracy, against that means communism. He supported communism. He opposed democracy, imperialistic democracy. And Communist Party supported farmers and workers movement. So they know the trick actually. Farmers and workers, if you support, definitely we will come to power. Both the parties work together to build unified China. Communist Party and this Kuomintang Party together to build united China. So North China and South China separate actually. And they tried. But here, after Sun Yat-sen, Chiang Kai-shek joined hands with the imperialistic forces. Sun Yat-sen opposed imperialistic democratic forces, but Chiang Kai-shek joined hands with imperialistic forces and started attacking the Communist Party's bases. After Sun Yat-sen, he came to the power. Chiang Kai-shek came to power. Yeah, and this person, Chiang Kai-shek, he came to power. And the march, so actually at that time what happened, to oppose Chiang Kai-shek. Chiang Kai-shek continuously attacking on communists and wanted to end communism there. But the supporter of communism, they wanted to retain that and wanted to get communism in complete united China. So for that purpose, so the person called Mao Zedong, he started Long March. The name says it is a long march. Really, it is a very long one in the history of mankind. It is the longest march with huge number of people. The march organized by Mao Zedong to escape the attack of Chiang Kai-shek on the communist forces. They traveled over 10,000 kilometers with 80,000 revolutionaries from Jiangxi of southeast China to Yunnan of northwest China. Southeast China to northwest China, 10,000 kilometers, 80,000 people they traveled. This happened between October 1934 to October 1935, 1 year. And they started with 80,000 people, and the people, those who reached Yunnan or Beijing, Peking or Beijing, only 10,000. 70,000 people died by the attack of Chiang Kai-shek. Yeah, so it is the big one, so it is called as Long March. And during the World War II, the Second World War, Japan attacked on China. So already we discussed in 1905, Japan attacked on Russia also and defeated. Same way, it attacked on China and defeated it. Yeah. And the Chinese Communist Party fought against this. The Communist Party announced the land reforms and distributed land to the farmers to come to power, to win the hearts of the farmers. They made this one. When Communist Party took control over most of the cities, Chiang Kai-shek ran away to Taiwan. And actually this is a long march. When they reached there to Peking or Beijing, when the army, Liberation Army, so on 1st October, actually in the beginning, he ran away to Taiwan. And on 1st October 1949, People's Liberation Army entered Peking or Beijing. And People's Republic was established in China. In China, People's Republic established. Mao Zedong became the president of that. Mao Zedong, the Communist Party leader, he became the president of China. Okay, next. So what is the effect of Chinese Revolution? What happened? Actually, community farming was introduced in China after the revolution. The Communist Party under the leadership of Mao Zedong came to power, which introduced community farming. So small farmers together. So for example, 1 acre each is having 1 acre, 2 acres, or half acres. They are having the land. In that mechanized farming, etc., not possible. More yield you can't get. So together, all the lands will be surrendered to the government, and you have to work there and full area. So yours half and then one, another two, three, etc. Together, it becomes 20 acres or 25 acre or 50 acres. Full land will be cultivated. Each farmer, the owner of the land, they have to come and work there. For them, salary will be given, wage will be given. And finally, after getting the yield, whatever the profit comes, it will be shared according to their portion. So there is community farming. And all were provided with free health, education, and other facilities. Like Russia, it is also. Importance was given to science and technology. Leap Forward program was implemented for the development of economy. Leap Forward program was implemented. And private property was converted into public property. No private property at all. In communism in China, everything is government, public property. Yeah. But here, many mistakes were committed while implementing cultural revolution. In the name of cultural revolution, many Buddhist temples were destroyed. Buddhist monks were killed. So it was the biggest mistake in the name of cultural revolution. To rectify these mistakes, Deng Xiaoping brought in many reforms. He was the president. When he became president, he brought many reforms. China adopted capitalistic principles within the framework of communism. And afterwards, China adopted capitalistic principles but within the framework of communism. To rectify the mistakes, they did this one. So in this way, the communism continued. So this is about the effects of Chinese Revolution. Next, we have discussed about Cold War. Cold War is not the war fighting in the season of winter, not in the Antarctica or not in Himalaya. Cold War, it is a mistrust, competition and fear that emerged between the two blocks of the world after the Second World War. After Second World War, two blocks emerged, one headed by USA and the one headed by USSR. So between these two, mistrust. They are not believing each other. And here suspicion. USA is thinking USSR trying to attack on us. It will attack on us. And USSR thinking USA may attack on us. I should be ready. And competition comes. In everywhere competition, not only positive. They increase the number of weapons also, number of friendly nations also, because of the fear they may attack. If any one country made agreement with USA, USSR trying to make agreement with another country because their number they want to increase. So this development is called as Cold War. So this is the Cold War between the capitalistic bloc led by USA and the communist bloc led by USSR. It is a capitalistic against communist. And this Cold War resulted in the competition of stockpiling the weapons, collecting the weapons, increasing the weapons, and formed many military organizations also. Under USA, some military organizations, agreements they made, NATO, CETO, CENTO, North Atlantic Treaty Organization, Southeast Asian Treaty Organization, and also CENTO, that is Central East North Treaty Organization. So like that, these countries, so NATO, the North Atlantic, the countries which are in north to the Atlantic Ocean, they made an agreement with USA. So they will support. So the party developed. Under USSR, Warsaw Pact, all the communist countries, they signed an agreement. Warsaw Pact, Warsaw Organizations. See, in the First World War also two blocks, two groups, triple entity and triple alliance. And Second World War also, before the beginning of the Second World War, one of the causes for that, their Allied forces and Axis forces. So here again, so because of these developments, the cloud of the Third World War came in the sky. And with that, Cold War led to many crises. That is the Korean crisis, North Korea, South Korea, they are fighting. One communist, another one capitalistic. Vietnam War. Actually, both the countries, USA and USSR, directly participated in the Vietnam War, but both the countries not used nuclear weapons because of the fear of destruction. If one country used the nuclear power, another country also used, both the countries will destroy, so they didn't use. The Suez Canal crisis, Berlin crisis, and Cuban Missile crisis. Under the nose of America, Cuba became a communist country. America was shocked actually. And actually, after the fall of USSR, Soviet Union in 1992, that Cold War ended because Russia accepted the democracy. Then Cold War ended. This is about the Cold War, and afterwards, when Soviet Union fall down, communism fall down there, then USA became the strong country and emerged as the strongest country in the world and remained superpower, sole superpower in the world. Okay, and then in USA also, it observed the Great Depression in 1927. Yeah. And in 1929, USA experienced stagnation in economic development. No development at all. Stagnation. And output dropped in automobile, agriculture, consumer durable manufacturing, mining, shipbuilding, and many other industries. Everything stopped. And actually, because of this depression, economic depression, or recession, what we call here, the price of the goods came down, dropped. How much? Less than cost of production. And people suffered a lot. It is like deflation. At that time, President F.D. Roosevelt came to power. He brought many reforms, especially he brought New Deal. And he encouraged women to work in public sphere. And there actually, according to New Deal, he increased the salary of the workers, salary of the laborers, and decreased the working hours. And compensations were given to the unemployed. And we surprised actually, by decreasing working hour, why should he increase the salary? Actually, money flow necessary. People should have money in their pocket. Then their demand increases. And when demand increases, price increases. So he gave more salary. Okay, if we have more salary, we should need the time to spend that. If you take more work, they will not get any time to go to the market, to go for shopping. If you reduce that working hours, they will use that money, they will go for shopping, and their demand increases and price increases. Within a decade, again USA became a strong country, came to the original position. And USA's victory in the two world wars, both the world wars, helped it to establish UNO. With the end of Cold War, USA has become the only superpower in the world. Yeah. So now also USA is a superpower, and between USA and Russia, no competition. Actually, now the competition is between USA and another communist country, China. China is trying to suppress or get first place in the economy by competing with the USA. And USA is having the fear. And actually, they need here USA need one military base in Asia. So it is supporting Pakistan to fight against China, etc. But actually, Pakistan thinking USA is supporting us. Actually, they need one military base here. From here they can fight against. Directly from USA they can't fight. From here they wanted to fight. So this is politics there. So anyway, so USA emerged as a strong power. whatever it may be, their competition, healthy competition necessary. We don't need unhealthy competition which destroy the human life, which wipe out the life on the earth, which one we don't want. So anyway, thank you for listening to me. And so this is about the political developments 20th century. Thank you very much.